you on yet?
I just clicked it again. I must have double clicked it.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Oh, hello. Sorry, y'all. It's been an interesting day. Say live stream offline.
Okay, there we go.
There it is.
All right, Sheps, tell her to hit a home run for us. Hey, Amanda's Gardens. Hey, Mama. Hey, Amy Davis. Kitty. Neona. Okay. Wow, what a day, what a day. So far today,
whoa,
I have a total of...
How many confirmed kills?
70...
Oh, nope.
I have a total of 77 confirmed kills today.
14 non-confirmed.
And 20 non-confirmed kills. My weapon of choice. Oh, sons of motherless goat.
Oh, that's not good.
Make that 78. And so, today is a day. That wasp come in here, y'all gonna see me squall like a girl. Especially if it stings me. Come on out here where I can smack you. No, that's a little bit, I can't get the fly swatter in there. That's okay.
You could.
No, I couldn't. The fly swatter's bigger than the opening.
But if you hit
The
it
weekend homestead Woody
hey,
Prepper.
Woody!
Elevated body count.
Golly.
Well, click the gray bell, Susan.
I do not get notifications at all anymore. Well, that stinks.
So.
Yeah, we had to
I had to put some fly strips up. See, the problem is both of my daughters...
Well, the door, for one.
The door is a big door, but both of my daughters feel that they are big women, and so they just, boom, open the door all the way up, and then they don't normally close it behind them, so it's just...
Oh, wow.
So, we had to go kind of all out.
Ah, don't you think a glass of wine left out for them to drown in would be kinder? No, that's for me to drown in. I ain't sharing my wine.
So, we're going to give everybody a few minutes to get on in here. I did not get to promote the class that much in Insomnia or in the Big Bear Homestead page. So, if you guys got a second, Amanda, Kitty, somebody, if y'all can throw that link up. We had to go get Robin from work because I needed the car today, and on our way home there was a structure fire. So that kind of slowed us down. That's why we're late getting on.
Spare the rod and your doors will be left open. That's funny. Are Tank and Cliff here yet? Tank is. I hadn't seen Cliff.
So.
Tank is Susan.
Yes. Silver Moon Acres, how
the
you
fun
doing?
has arrived. Did you tell her?
About what?
About our bunny situation?
Oh, no, not yet. I haven't she hasn't talked to me at all day today. I think she's still mad at me.
There's Cliff.
Because of me busting her chops in her live stream the other day. Even though she stole my title. Title stealer.
Drown them in kombucha. They'll love it.
Yeah.
Are you a firefighter? No.
No.
But we live very close to a fire station. Like,
no.
It's at the end of our driveway.
No, I'm not a firefighter.
Hold on, gotta try to find them. We got them both. Cliffy's here and Susan is here.
And so...
Any news about April yet, Cherish?
W5 Farms,
Well,
what's going on?
Hello.
Long time no see. Oh, for you 27 that's here, on Saturday April the 8th. That's a live stream of ours you do not want to miss. We are going to have a very special guest. And we're probably going to be giving away something huge. If it gets here in time.
If it gets here in time.
See, I don't even know why I talk to you. See, that just proves in our marriage, you don't listen when I speak.
Wait, you're not a firefighter? You mean this isn't Wrangler Star?
So, just another...
Oh, whoa. there's you some wasp action.
Go to the light, Mr. Wasp.
Posted link.
So,
where's the compost?
The compost.
Mark the calendars.
Yeah, you need to mark the calendars. You need to circle the calendars. You need to set alarms on your phone.
I'm confused. Oh, I know. I think I know.
Nope, not leading you on. I'm going to have a huge guest. I'll put it to you this way. This guest, in my opinion, is so huge, I'm nervous.
Wait, when? No. Get over there. And you're...
Saturday, April the 8th. That comes after Friday, April the 7th.
Smart.
But before Sunday, April the 9th. No.
How?
Google Hangouts. So, you know what I'm saying? Just totally just messing up the vibe. So.
It's hilarious when Jason's lips are moving and I hear Robin's voice.
So.
What time?
At our regular show, 8 p.m.
8 p.m. No.
8 p.m. Look, I'm not going to tell you. So quit guessing. I'm just saying. Major guest. I'm nervous. So.
I'm confused.
So, are you guys ready to talk about dirt? Soil.
Oh, you're going to be dishing the dirt, huh?
We're going to be dishing the dirt today. So.
What time? 8 o'clock Eastern Standard.
Where'd that wasp go?
On your shoulder.
But I guess you got to get unbusy there, Will. All right, so let's talk about soil. And let's talk about how and why.
Why don't I know about this guest? Exactly, that's what I'm wanting to know. What time? April 8th. One more time. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Mickey's big hand is going to be on the 12th. Mickey's little hand is going to be on the 8th.
I cannot possibly think of anyone that great, Jason.
You know. So, okay. Now, soil has played a very major role in human development since the beginning of time. The nomads hung around the Fertile Crescent. Early Chinese, they hung around the Yellow River. Even early Greek, early Romans, they all hung around the Come on. You know the answer. Shout it out. Begins with an N.
The who?
The Egyptians.
Okay, because you did not say Egyptians.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
He's speaking of the Nile. However, you said Romans, and I was thinking aqueducts, but...
So, you just don't pay attention to me. So, and the reason why they hung around these major rivers because those rivers would flood, and then they would do what? They would leave behind what?
Silt. Really, really, really rich soil.
Rich soil.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
That's why in some of the oils research that we've done, some of the stuff that grows in the Mediterranean and stuff like that grows in very fertile soil and almost wet because of all of that. So
see, even Hope says you're not listening.
I ain't listening to you today. I know.
Yep. So, you just got a message.
Somebody telling me to leave you alone.
Okay, so.
Pickers is in here because that's the picture he just sent me. That's awesome. Thank you, Pickers. That was funny. Thanks for that.
Okay.
Eastern Daylight Time. You're right, Woody. It's not even dark yet at that point. All right, so anyway.
And any of y'all that come on Monday night, if I acted like this, she would have already throat punched me.
No, I just look at you and stare at you and give you the eat crap and die look.
Okay. So, what I'm saying to you with bringing...
If you said what you meant instead of what you think you said, I would listen. That's from Mama. Alright, enough. Okay.
12 minutes into the class and I ain't even done the first paragraph of my notes.
Alright, go ahead.
Now, why is that important and why should we look at that as good news? Especially when all the studies are showing that we've lost a tremendous amount.
Just keep going. I'll watch it for you.
A tremendous amount of topsoil. Okay? And ever since like the Great Dust Bowl of the 1930s, we've been losing topsoil, foot after foot after foot after foot. It's been talked about in all the documentaries that I know most of you guys have already watched. Food Incorporated, Food Matters, you know, all of those things. Everybody talks about how much topsoil we lost. Well, here's the wonderful news. And we can take an example of the Nile River and the Yellow River and all those other ones and look at it and go, soil, it's a renewable resource. Now, it's not like a renewable resource that's fast, kind of like fur. Because the animals reproduce, they have more babies, make more fur.
No, it takes a while.
Unfortunately,
love you, Susan.
To be able to renew the soil, we're losing it.
Focus. I'm watching.
Yeah, I'm focusing on that big honking stinger, and he's looking at me like, you look like lunch.
Where's the... Let me have the...
You are so... No, with your... Ooh,
give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Wait, where is he?
He's right up underneath there. Just smash it. Smash it. You missed.
No, I did.
You don't hear him buzzing?
Shh. Okay, keep talking. Oh, hell.
Ah, Jesus, woman! And you gonna swat the daggone thing this way. And you leave out of the schoolhouse with the fly swatter.
Is he still in there?
No, he decided to pack up and go to Detroit. Yeah, he's still in here and he's pissed off.
Oh hell, now he's behind the light.
Go get me another one of those fly swatters.
Go
We just
start talking. I got
What do you mean? You got this? You were swinging to hit the freaking wasp this way. I'm gonna get stung on the live stream.
Start teach your class, baby.
Shut up, Palmetto.
What'd he say?
He's like, oh, so Fallujah was cool, but being in a can with a wasp is too dangerous?
Not when it comes flying at you.
No, I got Punky Bruiser. Hey, give me one of those. Matter of fact,
he's right there. Watch out.
give me one, Dessa! Wah! Wah! I swear to God, you hit him over here. Dun, 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 dun.
I just don't want to hit the woo. I'm hitting the flat string.
What y'all do tonight? Oh, we watched Big Bear scream like a sissy because there was a wasp in the... Dessa, you might want to get out of here because your mom's aim sucks. What are you waiting for?
I don't want to hit the light.
Oh.
Where'd he go? Okay, he's down. But he got me in the armpit.
You okay?
Yeah.
Armpit looks like he stung you in the boob.
No, he got me right here.
Let's see. You sure he got you?
No. Really? Am I sure he got me?
It's not red.
Jason, it hurts. Get out. Give me that. I gotta go treat it. Give it to me.
Give you what?
Give me the drink. Now, your freaking thing is gone. Do your class.
Mm-hmm. She got stung. Okay. Now. So. That right there should have been worth your monthly internet bill. That's all I'm saying. So, all right. Now, okay. See, she took the fly swatter away from me and got stung. So, what were we talking about? We were talking about soil and talking about. She didn't say it all the way. She didn't say it all the way. She stopped herself. Now, all right, so let's talk about soil. All right. Now, soil is a renewable resource, but it is a slow renewable resource. Okay? It is mostly formed by minerals being broken down, okay, through the actions of like weathering, you know, decomposition, okay? All of that. Okay? Now, one of the reasons why I'm a huge advocate for mulch is because we lose this soil due to erosion, wind and water erosion, okay? Now, screen key's getting blurry, Meemaw, because I'll move in and it'll mess with this, the automatic focus on the camera. Okay? Now, Exactly, Palmetto. Now, there are three main types of soil. Residual, mineral, and organic. Okay? Now, your residual soil is developed directly from bedrock. It has a lot of no, I am doing live. You can wait to sharpen your pencil later. Thank you. This is like going to be one of the worst live streams in the history of live streams. First, we had Attack of the Killer Wasps. Okay. Second, well, really, first we had the interruption of the killer wasp and nobody being able to focus. Second, the attack of the killer wasp. And now, third, we're back to the interruptions. Okay. We're talking about the residual type of soil. It is developed directly from bedrock. Okay. The mineral soil comes from plant materials moved from one area to another. Okay, by ice, water, wind, critters, gravity, all those kind of things. So that's kind of like when the leaves fall to the ground, when an animal eats greens, whatever, makes it come out the back end. Okay, all that stuff. Now the organic soil is composed of decaying plants. Okay, the plant materials are affected by the climate and living organisms. Warm regions with high rainfall develop soil quickly, which then ages into heavily weathered soils which is low in organic matter. Now, why is it low in organic matter? Well, if they're getting a lot of rain, it's pushing it right on down the line. Okay. Now, in areas where it's a little bit cooler, you're not getting a lot of rain and stuff like that, you're going to have a lot of organic matter. Okay. Your leaves are falling, your grasses are dying, fruits and stuff, berries falling, wild critters pooping, all of that stuff, and you're going to have a thicker thing. Now, in a desert climate, their lack of plant growth, okay, gives them less organic matter. So in your cooler, like let's take rain for example. She probably got a good amount of organic matter in some places in her state, and then other places in her state where it's more tropical, they have less organic matter because they have more they have higher humidity, more rainfall. It's pushing that stuff along, so they have more tropical types of plants that do not drop their leaves as much. Okay. Now in other parts, like in the mountains, for example, because you do get cooler, you have your regular trees and other plant life that die and come back, and then when they die, it's going to lay there on the ground, it's going to drop the leaves and it's going to lay there on the ground, and that stuff is going to decompose, just like what we do. What we try to do here is with making compost. It's just naturally making the compost. Okay. Now, obviously, here comes Mama. You okay?
I'm fine. I'm telling you. I don't worry about stuff like that because the pain is completely gone.
You had an oil for it, huh?
I had two, yep.
Everybody was telling me I needed to go in and rub oil on you.
No, I got it. I'm good. I just needed to change shirts.
Which oil did you use?
Lavender and Roman chamomile.
Roman chamomile. That's the one I smell the most.
Yep. So, I'm good. It's swollen a little, but it doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt? He probably didn't get you a good solid...
Oh, no. He drew blood. He got me good. and it's swollen good.
You've gotten tougher as we've gone along.
Why?
Because I remember when we were pulling out, and we've completely just
that's fine.
gotten off of this today. But when we first got together and we were pulling out them honeybee hives, I remember when you got stung right on the bottom of her earlobe.
Yeah, right here.
Okay. And
that hurt really bad.
And see, I don't understand how that hurt because you don't really have.
Yeah, tell that to your ear when it gets stung. I mean, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that whether there's nerves or whatever in there or not, that hurts. Like getting stung on the end of your ear, that's tough. But I mean, not that this area is any better because it's like right there, and it's swollen. Feel right there.
I don't want to touch it if it
fine.
hurts.
No, it doesn't hurt. Feel how it's swollen right there? I mean, it's swollen pretty good, but it doesn't hurt.
Oils
no, there was no stinger. It was a wasp. He didn't leave his stinger in there.
Yeah. Now, see, that's one of the major differences here. A honeybee, okay? A honeybee.
Sorry, dolphin. I almost lost it.
A honeybee has a barb on the end of his stinger, like a fish hook.
Mm-hmm.
It stings you, and then it rips off the bottom part of its abdomen.
Because it's barbed, yeah.
Bumblebees and anyone in the wasp family, your European paper wasps, your red wasps, your yellow jackets, because the yellow jacket is part of the wasp family. They all have like the hypodermic needle stinger that they can pop you 7 times. Bap, 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 bap.
And that's all it did. He went right here by the thing, and then he fell into my arm, and when I closed my arm down, he stung me, and then as soon as I let go, he took off. So
Hope says she's had babies. The sting ain't nothing.
I don't know, Hope.
I was gonna say, you didn't see her cry when she got stung by that honeybee.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was no joke. Because what happened
A hornet and a wasp are not the same thing. Because you have your ball-faced hornets, and you have other different types of hornets. A hornet is a hornet, and a wasp is a wasp.
Yeah.
Like a wasp makes his nest out, and he doesn't cover it with the paper like a hornet does. A hornet will wrap his up, and those are the gray paper nests that you see hanging in trees or in corners of houses or whatever like that. A wasp will just make a wasp nest. You know, we've all seen them out there, and they don't really cover them up that much. Okay.
I'm sorry I derailed your train.
It's okay. I don't even remember where we were talking about. Now, I do remember a little bit. You guys remember when I said that to be able to develop good soil, it takes a lot of time. Think about, that's a yellow jacket, Kitty. And it's part of the wasp family. Matter of fact, a yellow jacket is the most aggressive wasp there is.
Yeah, I'd rather take one of these guys on that we just had than a yellow jacket.
I want you guys to think about how long it takes to make some good compost. Okay? And we're putting all of the right stuff in either a compost tumbler or in tires or in our compost bins, and we go out and we flip it over, and we're doing all the right stuff, keeping it moist. Yeah, because I want to believe everything from Google.
Anyone.
I know I'm right on this one, brother. I used to have a pest control license. That was on the test. What up now? Meet me outside. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that, Palmetto Pooper Scooper? But and think and that big old honking square that you make for compost, or the round bin that you make for compost, or the compost tumbler that you make, you're putting lots and lots of organic matter in there, right? We're putting tons of stuff in there. And at the end, you may get, what? a third of a 55-gallon drum if you're lucky, depending upon the size of your tumbler or your compost area.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why compost is so valuable. It's more valuable than gold to some people. And that's because it takes a tremendous amount of time to make. It's not labor intensive. No, it just takes a while for this stuff to break down. So out there with Mother Nature, Oregon is the last people I would trust. I'm just saying.
Right, and that was also 20 years ago. So let's just leave it alone. I mean, I don't understand why we're arguing about a stupid bug. But anyway.
Because it's palmetto. This is how we roll. This is what we do.
Okay, well, whatever. It's annoying sometimes, but.
Plus he likes to get me off track.
I see that.
If it takes that long just to be able to take your vegetable matter and your egg shells and your leaves and all of that stuff, okay, and you're putting it in a big pile to make it a hot compost. Think about your leaf mold. That is what they call a cold compost, okay? Your leaf mold is more like what happens out in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it takes twice as long because there's not a big hunking pile and it's not encouraging bacteria growth because it's all spread out all over the place. Okay, so that's why if you go into the woods that's been there for 20 plus years and you start digging down, that's where you'll find the black gold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but with all of that being said, we can rebuild what we've lost. The problem is that not enough people are making compost. This is basically what it boils down to. We are taking away the trees. We are taking away everything that's going to kill our topsoil. And what a lot of people don't understand, they think, well, it's just dirt. Well, no. Like Pooper Scooper said in the beginning, we came from dirt. We came from dirt, not apes, right? So dirt is the building block of life.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're losing all of that, and because we are. How do I say this? The more the human population grows, the more land we need for apartment complexes, housing, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Hey, suburban.
That means they're taking out trees to put up parking lots, okay, and parking garages. Well, not only does that help pollute our air, but it's also killing us slowly because it's having a effect on our food supply. And this is how. Think about it. One, all the vegetable matter that we consume, whether it's lettuce, green beans, corn, carrots, whatever, fruits, nuts, all of that, okay? That all needs good soil to be able to grow, okay? The animals that we eat, chickens, pigs, cows, beaver, deer, rabbits, squirrel, all of that rely upon vegetable matter to be able to eat. You know, you figure your deer, they eat the same thing as a cow does. They're out there grazing on all the grasses and the fruits and the berries. Same way with a bear. Same way with moose, elk, all of these guys. Okay? And it's a circle. And around about, you know, not to quote Disney or anything, the devil himself, but
circle of life.
You have, and see, animals are a very important part to soil makeup because they're coming through and they're grazing and they're eating grasses and herbs and fruits and wild vegetables, all of that. They're eating that, okay? They're using that for their body to digest, give them energy, their calories, blah, blah, blah. And they're bringing it out the back end. Which then, that stuff coming out the back end is doing what? It's bringing the party back to the soil. Your soil has, and this is, we're going to get into this more in depth next week. We're going to be talking about the fungicides and the fungicides. That's a no. We're not going to be talking about fungicides. We're talking about the fungi. We're going to be talking about the bacteria. We're going to be talking about the nitrogen, the phosphorus, the mercury, the calcium, all that stuff that you need to have in your soil. Just like we, as human beings, we need certain proteins, we need certain vitamins, we need certain amount of water, we need all the different things that we need to keep our body functioning.
Hey, Mama Cat.
Plants themselves need certain things to keep functioning. They need nitrogen. They need phosphorus. They need calcium. They need potassium. They need all kinds of things that are found in the soil. Like, how many of you have had tomatoes that had bottom end rot? That's where the bottom part of your tomato starts to rot away.
Gets black. And yes, diversity in diet is critical to life. That's exactly right.
Okay, I know a lot of you guys have probably seen that in tomatoes, and we're like, the first time you saw it, when you didn't know what it was, you were like, what the crap is going on with my tomatoes? Well, that's called bottom end rot. What causes bottom end rot? Calcium deficiency in your soil.
I listened to you.
Okay, so what do people tell you to do to help do that? To help fix that? Eggshells, right? Eggshells. Just put some eggshells out in your ground. No, they're right, because eggshells have calcium in them.
Bone meal, too. You could do bone meal.
You know, they tell you to put bone meal. They tell you to add these amendments to the soil. Why do we always, everybody talks about getting their soil tested. What are they getting their soil tested for? They want to find out what's the pH of the soil. And we'll get into more what's the good range for the pH and stuff next week, when we're probably going to finish out talking about soil. But that's what they want, and the pH is basically whether to tell you if your soil is more base or more acidic. Okay, and you want to kind of get in the middle somewhere. Okay. Dolphin Man, I don't even want to talk about that because that just pisses me off to no end. Isn't that what I say, blossom end rot? Or did I say bottom end rot?
Bottom.
I meant blossom. I'm sorry, being a sausage. Bee Lady asked, do large commercial farms compost, etc.? Most of them do not. Okay, this is... You okay?
Just went down the wrong place.
And this is... Look. We have been feeding this monster now since the 70s. Alright, I'm going to get on this soapbox since Bee Lady asked.
See, I think Susan's right. I think it's bottom end rot.
Palmetto gonna keep messing with me. I'm gonna put him in timeout. We have been feeding this monster.
You can be both, but anyway, go ahead.
Since the 70s. Okay? In the early 70s, when the Department of Agriculture looked at farmers and said, go big or go home, we really started to kill our soil. Okay? when you go by some of these big farms, okay, and you just see the clay looking dirt that they have out there, okay, what they're doing, okay, is they're coming in and they're doing a heavy lime, or they're putting out this, or they're putting
Chicken
out
crap.
that. You know, they're taking a chicken manure from their houses and they're putting it out over there over winter, because chicken manure is a hot manure, and they're putting it out there, and then they're letting it sit. But they're adding commercial fertilizers. And what that's doing is just making that next crop perform okay. But each year, they have to add more commercial fertilizer because their soil is dead. There is no what going on in that soil?
No potty.
There's no potty.
So, Jatan wanted to know, would it be good to add calcium? Yes.
That depends. I would go get your soil tested.
And that leads you to Dolphin's question.
Ask them to not only do a pH test, but to do a mineral test. Okay? And yes, the state of Georgia, the UGA should test your soil for you.
Find your local co-op extension agent, and they should be able to tell you where to go.
Right. So, and then right? So they're adding more fertilizer each year. Just like with our animals, okay? They're putting a large amount of animals in a small area, and they're pumping this feed to them, okay? And they've got them standing in their own fecal matter, and they're laying around in their own poo.
It's gross.
And they are feeding dead cows to cows. I mean, they're feeding dead chickens to cows. They're feeding chicken manure to cows, and they're pouring molasses over it so the cow will eat it. And that's how you got mad cow. So then they said, well, you know what? We just won't feed the brain and spinal cord to the cows. When the cow dies, we'll just give them everything else. Right? So then they're pumping them full of antibiotics, and then they realized, hey, if we give the antibiotic as a pre-treatment, guess what happens to the animal? Well, he beefs up. He gains weight. So now we can say the animal's steroid free. So we need to get back to the way it was back in the 1800s. We need to make our own topsoil. Now, is this something you're going to be able to do overnight? No. But here are some things that you can do to improve it. And each year, it will get better. That's why the Back to Eden garden is such a success as it is. Because that's all it's doing. You start with a good layer of compost. And then you mulch it with the wood chips. Now, why is he using wood chips? Wood chips will decompose. Okay? And wood chips, after the first year, they really lose their acidity. So you don't really have, and I know a lot of people scream about how acidic they are in the first year. And yes, it will make your acidity go up a little bit. Top dress it with wood ash. You'll be fine. Right? But they're decomposing and they're bringing it all back to back. They're feeding the party. It's like pizza delivery. They're feeding the party. And then that's why each year, what happens? Your yield gets better. And what's the outline for the Back to Eden garden? A weed barrier down, something biodegradable, cardboard, newspaper, something like that, that's going to break down and feed feed your original soil first. Basically, what the Back to Eden garden doing is rebuilding the earth. Because the earth starts with the heated core, right? And then it goes to, what's it called, like the crust or...
whatever.
They've got these different layers for each one, okay? Boom, 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 boom. That's all you're doing with the Back to Eden garden, okay? You got the way your ground is now, blam. You put your weed barrier down. That's something that's biodegradable, okay? And then on top of that, you're putting a good 3 or 4 6-inch layer of compost. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you're putting another 1 or 2 layer of wood chips. Okay? And then your first year, you plant. Okay? And your yield will be okay. You'll do pretty good. But then the next year, because what has happened? Okay? You did your garden, you pulled all your stuff out, threw it in the compost pile, you did a light top dress with fresh wood chips, and then brought in your fall garden, right? After the fall garden was done, you cleaned up your garden, top dressed with another light layer of wood chips. And then it sits all winter. And all it does, okay, it starts to break back down. Okay? Then you come in the next year, you plant again. Right? And you may, here and there, just top dress with a little compost if you want to. And then you're supposed to do it like that for what? 3 or 4 years. Then you're supposed to go back to another layer of compost and then top dress it again. And then you're done. And then you just keep top dressing with the wood chips. And what are the wood chips there for? The wood chips are there to, 1, break down and feed the soil. 2, stop wind erosion, stop water erosion, and also to protect all of the bacteria and the microorganisms in your soil from the sun, to stop them from cooking. Because mulch does multiple things. It feeds the soil as long as you're using the correct mulch. It protects, helps with moisture control, temperature control, all of that. Okay? Now, somebody asked about biomatter, and I think Palmetto.
He's talking about all the stuff. He said that he's talking about how Back to Eden is a smaller part of permaculture, and that out in the woods, the reason why stuff grows so prolifically there is because as stuff dies, it decomposes into the ground and continues to feed the ground. And that's what biomatter is anything that was once alive and then dies and feeds the earth, feeds the ground.
And it's just a natural
cycle.
Okay? And
fancy way of saying dead stuff.
If all 42 people that were in this chat room right now all decided to start making compost and started top dressing
Susan, be careful.
their gardens with compost, and they all started doing some type of a permaculture garden, Back to Eden style garden. All 42 of us, if we religiously did it, we still wouldn't be able to build back in our areas the level of soil that we've lost so far. But what it does is stops us from losing any more. And that is the important part, because for my grandchildren and great grandchildren, they gotta have something to sit on.
When you prune and mulch, you're just speeding up the decaying process.
Right. And that's what you want. You want to mimic. Look, this is a prime example. Okay, and y'all know I don't preach. Okay, but this is a prime example of how, I think it was Bill Cosby that said one time, and I know he's probably not the best person to use as an example
anymore.
But in one of his stand-up routines, he said that God made a tree and said it was good. Man made a refrigerator and called it fantastic. And God made a rabbit and said it was good. And man made a car and called it awesome. And then within 2 years, the refrigerator broke, the car's not running, but the tree's still up and the rabbit's still running. You know, if we would just pay attention to the way God set everything up, there would be less disease. There would be nobody would be hungry. And that's one of the biggest lies that are out there. We, and I say we, America, throws away, 6,300 pounds of food a day, Or was it an hour?
I don't remember. It's ridiculous where it is.
That could be used to feed livestock, make compost, or even feed people. Okay? Because sometimes they put on these crazy expiration dates or used by dates to get it to sell fast and get it used, because we have become a throwaway society. And if, like, my I forget what I titled it. It's about trash on the homestead, that video I did, and I showed you guys different ways on how we go through our trash and the way we set things up here, because the trash man should never visit the self-sufficient homestead. But composting is a vital part of our homestead, and Mama Cat's right. Composting is so easy because they have, and I'll answer that why more people don't do it. Compost has been made out to be such a scientific process that some people are intimidated.
Wow. I read about a grocery store chain in California uses silo and rotten produce to build a stomach in which they siphon the methane off the top and power the store with it. That is awesome. Why does Susan want to use her wrench?
That troll.
Is it?
I think so.
I ain't worried about it.
Yeah, we all know who it is anyway.
Anyway, go ahead.
What was I talking about?
I don't know. Oh, why people don't compost.
Oh, because they've tried to make it so complex that you've got to have so much green matter and so much brown matter and so much of this and so much of that. No. I mean, yes, you need to have the balance with it to make it work, but you don't have to stress over it. Okay? I tell everybody, I try to add more green than brown. That's basically how I tell people to make compost. You know, if you're running low on green, then cut your grass, and if your kid made you mad, make them rake up the grass clippings and throw it in your compost to add more green.
So, are we saying that Bee Lady knows who Ronald is? Bee Lady, can you clear that up for me? Because I don't recognize
it either.
I feel like every time I comment, it's disruptive, even when I don't mean to be. Yeah, right. You don't mean to be. No, we like your comments. I'm sorry. I'm just moody because I got stung. They will throw out a tomato with a blemish, but all the ones that taste like styrofoam. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. People don't make compost because the same reason they don't homeschool, fooled into believing they can't.
Right. That's exactly right, Mama.
Or that there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a stereotypical.
Now, there was a question about when commercial chicken farmers put their poop and use it as fertilizer, can it poison the soil?
I want to say yes. And here's my reason now behind it. Okay? These chickens in these chicken houses are literally stacked beak to butt.
And we've seen it because it's all around us.
And they're pooping on each other, and they've got to put antibiotics in their water. They got to put antibiotics in their feed because they're beak to butt.
And it's not cost effective for them to give a shot to every single one.
And so that antibiotic is coming out.
Blaze told me to bring this to you.
Okay, not right now. We're on.
The antibiotic is coming out in their fecal matter.
Mm-hmm.
And So then that fecal matter with that antibiotic and all of that mumbo jumbo that they're feeding them is then going to break down and go into the soil. And there is, look, guys.
Yeah, Susan's saying they take it clean out directly to the fields. They do the same thing here, and we can smell it. Like when they do it, it stinks so bad.
And here's the thing. My personal belief, and I'm not just saying this because Robin does essential oils, but there is a reason why herbs, essential oils, all that kind of Eastern medicine is working so well, and that the federal government don't want you to know about it.
Hey, baby, it's 6:30.
I got that. Okay. That's okay. We're going to go in.
Okay.
Is because there has been so much overuse of the antibiotics that a lot of these bugs are immune to them. They don't work anymore. They've mutated. They've evolved to where this just ain't working anymore. Okay? Just like our systems, we can build up an immunity to something. You know, that's why your mom, when you were a little kid, you know, she found out little Johnny had chicken pox and she made you go over there and lick his face. Because she wanted your body to build up the natural antibodies to the chicken pox. Okay? Well, that trickles all the way down, and I don't understand why people do not think that it's okay that these bugs and this nasty bacteria is not going to develop the same antibodies to our antibiotics. It happens. And so then we have to do another one. And then we have to do another one. And then we have to do another one. And then you know what happens? Pretty soon we got a super bug that there's no antibiotic can kill it.
And we've seen that in the hog farm industry.
Now, here's the nice thing about it.
Yeah, chicken pox and mumps parties. That's actually it's pretty funny.
I'm actually believing that, you know, I have a friend. His biggest joke is every time we try to teach him something new, he said, you know, when something new comes in, something old's got to go out. And now I don't know how to do math. And I kind of think he never knew how to do math to begin with, but that's okay. But I think these bugs are developing and evolving, and they're forgetting about the natural stuff that God put down here to combat this stuff. Okay? So that's one of the reasons why I think her oils and no, Dolphin Man, I mean, if that's all you're going to do is make compost, then yeah, you might be able to make a little bit of money.
I would just empower other people to do it. The antibiotics they give chickens are in the same family as the ones they give women with UTIs, and they wonder why antibiotics don't work.
Yep. And so one of the reasons why a lot of people are turning away from the status quo is we're getting educated. We're starting to,
the status quo is not going to be the status quo forever.
No, it's not. And it all comes back to, we say all of that to loop right back around to say it starts with the dirt.
That's right.
Because you can have the best essential oil in the world. You can spend all that money and get like the rose essential oil. Okay, that's like $80 million. Okay, but if you don't have roses, to be able to make the rose essential oil.
And then how you gonna? That was a bird.
Was a duck.
Yep.
How you gonna make it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That illegal herb
Stuff.
that has a lot of medical benefits that goes with it.
Medicinal. Yeah.
You ain't got good dirt. You could be Cheech and Chong, but you ain't growing it.
Well, and the properties, I'm a firm believer that the properties of the plant can be weakened if the soil is not.
I was getting ready to get to that. You've
Yeah.
been paying attention. So if you've got bad soil and your soil doesn't have a party, and you have to supplement your soil with commercial fertilizers, then guess what? You've got a weak plant. That means the way that you want that plant to act, he's not going to be able to act. That's one of the reasons why, if you have watched the Back to Eden film, one of the things that he says is one of the reasons why this process also does natural pest control, because the plants are so healthy that when the plant bites into them, they basically drown because they're so well hydrated and everything like that. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay? That's because the plants, believe it or not, some of them have natural ways of dealing with pests. But in every one of my predator control videos that I'm talking about with garden pests, I'm encouraging you guys to build a garden oasis. So that way it's friendly to birds, parasitic wasps, ladybugs, praying mantises. All of those things, okay? Because you want them in there.
Susan said, Robin, you're doing Jason like I do you. It took me a second to get that, Susan. I think I'm a little out of it. Okay, so just real quick before we go anywhere with other stuff. If you have a bee sting and you use lavender and Roman chamomile, both of which have sedative properties.
Oh, you finna go night-night.
Don't worry if I go to sleep. It's because the sedative properties are really working on me. So don't worry about me. I'm just tired. All of a sudden I'm very mellow, and that's why. But anyway, you were saying, what were you saying just now? And it made me think of something. Yeah, you have companion planting that you can do. And I know there was some talk about using chickens for bone broth. And we used to be of the mindset, because back before we didn't know anything about commercial farms, we knew nothing about them years ago. And we used to get, and we thought we were doing good, we would get a rotisserie chicken from the store. We would use the chicken for different meals, and then we would take the bones and we would make bone broth out of them. Well, then once we figured out the nastiness, and it's not just, guys, the thing is that it's not just about what they're fed and how they live. That's only one portion, because then comes the cleaning and processing. I mean, and B-Lady, I can attest to this. She said, I heard the chicken processing places in Arkansas are disgusting. They are disgusting. They, when I used to live in Fayetteville, and Springdale is where they have some of the chicken houses, and there might even be more there now, but at the time it was, but anyway, they, when the wind would blow just right, it was probably the nastiest smell, and then it would, if it rained and it blew, it was really, really bad. But the thing is that if you're using those chickens to do bone broth, you're being counterproductive, because bone broth is meant to leach all of the good stuff out of the marrow. And when you're talking about processing plants being able to use the chemicals that they're allowed to use to clean the meat, you can only imagine what may or may not soak into the bone.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing. And that's why, if you can't raise your own chickens, don't get upset when you see somebody charging a little bit more for a pasture raised chicken. A lot of times it takes longer than the normal commercial chicken farms. Because even if we want to do commercial type chickens, we still make them work a little bit harder for their food so they don't have to just sit and gorge themselves all day. So it takes longer for them to be able to fatten up a little bit. So what I'm saying is that if somebody, if you're talking about 99-cent chicken somewhere and you're excited about 99-cent chicken, and then you see somebody with pasture raised chicken and they want $3 or $4 a pound, a lot of times you got to think about what is that worth to you, because if you're able to use every bit of that chicken, you're not worried about being charged for those bones, because those bones are going to actually do you some good.
Now, Dolphin Man asked a question about where to put your compost on your homestead. Mine is relatively close to my garden. That way I do not have to go far with it. I keep mine in a relatively, it gets about 8-10 hours of sunlight a day, because I want it to kind of heat up the properties of my compost bins and stuff to help break stuff down. B Lady wanted to know, why do they feel they need chemicals to clean the chicken? Well, the short version is because they have a lot of illegal immigrants working in these processing plants, and they treat them like slaves. They pay them a very low wage, expect very high productivity,
and they don't care.
And they don't care if somebody gets hurt or whatever. They just toss them to the curb and they bring the next guy in. And so if you're one of these underpaid, overworked, illegal immigrant, and you're in there working, they'll threaten to call immigration on you. They'll do all these things. So the working conditions are just horrible. So they're just slicing and dicing. They don't care if they nick the intestines. They don't care if they nick the stomach. They don't care if fecal matter gets in your on your meat. And then what they do, okay, let's just say they hit something and they rip open the intestines of the chicken or whatever, right? And it gets all on your meat, on your chicken. Well, they just take that chicken off and they throw it in this big tub of water that has had 800,000 other chickens in that tub of water with the same thing that happened to them. Okay? Now, how often do they clean this tub of water out? Maybe once a quarter if you're lucky.
It's disgusting.
And so there's usually, when they clean it out, there's usually a 6-inch layer of fecal matter.
Like literally.
All across the bottom of this tub. Okay? So you got all that poo. So, and chicken is very porous. So that means when it hits that water, it's acting like a sponge. Okay? And then so they have to treat it with radiation, or they give it a chemical bath or whatever to kill all of that nasty bacteria and all that other junk that the chicken has soaked in. And I want you to think about it. When you buy your chicken at Walmart or the local grocery store, and it's in that styrofoam case, right?
Mm-hmm.
But underneath that styrofoam is, between the styrofoam and the chicken is what? It's like that little sponge mat thingamabob. And then your chicken, when you pick it up, it's all got that slimy stuff to it. That's leftover residual from that poo bath. Just saying. But hey, here on the Big Bear Homestead.
Okay, so the question was, do people use medicated feed for their... And there was another one that said, and this was really smart. or not smart, but perceptive. When you're cooking a pasture raised chicken, a lot of times you have to treat it a little bit differently. The way you cook it, a little bit differently than you do a store bought, commercially produced.
They're usually a little
chicken.
bit leaner, so there's not that much fat to it.
Yeah.
And they cook different.
Yeah.
Just
okay, Jason, vegan now.
Well, this is why I tell everybody, look, if you're within a day's driving of us, you are more than welcome to come purchase our pasture-raised chicken, our pasture-raised beef, our pasture-raised pork. You know, I know some of you don't eat pork, so don't say nothing. I know you don't eat it. I cook something completely different when you come.
So, who wants chicken for dinner? Yeah, right?
You know, you're more than welcome to come by. We don't ship. But you're more than welcome to come to the farm. And if you're worried about price, we could work something out where you help process or help do something. And well, we can work something out that way. But I encourage everybody to find a grass farmer, because that's basically what we are. We're a grass farmer because grass is king. You know, go to your local farmers markets. Talk. Don't just buy because they're at the farmers market. Okay.
No, find out if you can go visit their place.
Talk to these people. Get to know them. Ask them if you can come visit the farm. And that is the huge tattletale sign right there. If you say, man, that's cool. Hey, can I come visit your farm? And they're like, no, it's a biohazard. You don't want to go there because he ain't nothing more than a commercial farmer that's trying to make an extra buck on the back end, selling you the eggs or selling you the stuff that didn't pass the U.S. DUH inspection, and he's bringing it to the farmer's market to get rid of it. Okay? But if he's somebody like us, and he'll, yeah, when you want to come on.
Yeah. Anybody who tells you can't come to their place because of biohazards or cross contaminations, they don't have a really good.
Yeah.
They probably are more of a monoculture, and so they don't have stuff breaking down other stuff. Is basically the best way to say it.
And so you want.
Susan wants to know if you want somebody to go deer hunting with her this fall.
I saw. But the problem is, Susan probably couldn't be quiet.
Yes, she could.
I doubt it.
There you go. See, we gave Nifty Thrifty Bits a pointer. Hubby's, I've been trying to get some chickens, and now I'm going to be pushing harder.
And Nifty Thrifty, hey, if he wants to talk to me, you know, and ask questions, just let me know. We can hook up on Skype or something, and I'll be willing to answer any questions. You know, but hey, you know, Maria took her first step.
She got quail.
Yesterday. No.
Did she dispatch?
She had to put a quail down yesterday.
Why? What happened?
He was just sick.
Oh.
And look, for those of you that are not in this lifestyle, until you have to put something down, don't judge, okay? Because it's hard. It's very hard the first time that you have to put something down, okay? I think I was like 4 or 5 the first time I shot something or caught something. And it messed with me, just like it messed with my son, the first squirrel he shot. You know, but if it doesn't mess with you, then there's something wrong with you. Okay?
But I met my husband. Here I thought it was going to be you, Susan.
Well, Susan, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. and I'm very, very proud of her. Okay? And like I told her, look, the next time it's going to get a little bit easier. But it's never going to get simple. Because there should be a level of respect there between you and your animal. Now, God put us down here to be the masters of the animals, to use the animals for clothing and food. But we don't have to be disrespectful about it.
Right.
So, Okay, we have run over, but I'm gonna open it up for questions right now. Does anybody have any questions? I know I'm excited. We're going to be getting 3 hives of bees pretty soon, within the next week or so.
No.
2 weeks?
3.
3? Mm-hmm.
Yep, you could stay and crochet and cook. That sounds great.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. If he's warming up to the idea, Nifty Thrifty, go get some white leghorns. Because they're very good.
But that's not a meat chicken. She's talking about for meat.
Right. No. See, you're too busy in there and you didn't read her last one there.
Oh. Few for eggs. I gotcha. How much eggshell to green brown?
Are bees and wasps in the same family? Let's see. How does it go?
I don't remember.
I think they're in the same family, different order, something like that. I don't know. I know they're different. How do you remove the root ball of a tree trunk? Well, there's lots of ways to do that. Let it snow. You can dig it out. You can grind it out. You can drill holes in it. Okay, burn it out. You can do lots of different ways to get that out. Jason, can you undo the acidity of pine straw with wood ash? It depends on how long. I mean, you could. Theoretically, you could, but it may take a while because pine straw is extremely acidic, and it depends on how long the pine straw, how many layers. I mean, how long has it been there decomposing, and how many layers have been there. So it does not come back. Yeah, you'd have to dig it, burn it, or grind it. 2 sticks of 40% dynamite. You know, and you got to really. Most of the time, we do our best to kind of dig them out.
Mm-hmm.
If we can, that always seems to have worked the best for us. Aren't commercial eggs dirtier than... Little wood ash goes a long way. My people. Alright, y'all. If there is no more questions, we've run a little bit over, but y'all can still jump over there to, I think it's Living on a Dime.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, I'm in a subdivision. I guess I need to check to see if I can have chickens. Who would I call? Well, if you've got one of those homeowners association thingamabobs, good luck, because most of those guys won't. But if you don't have one of those, then you just call the county, and they should be able to tell you if you're allowed to have any where you are right now. The best thing to do is get hens, no roosters, just get hens, and because they won't make a lot of noise, and so they may cluck a little bit when they're laying. But the nice thing is, all you got to do is pay your neighbors off with a couple of a dozen eggs once every other week or something, and they're good to go. Release most of them. Do you store eggs in lime mineral oil? No, we do not, B-lady.
But you can put mineral oil
on them,
and basically all that does is closes the barrier of the shell, because the shell is actually porous, and over time the oxygen gets into the egg and will contaminate the egg over time, and that's what makes an egg rotten. So if you put the mineral oil over um, all over the egg and make sure it's completely coated, then they'll last a lot longer.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and that's one of the things, you know, in the preparedness world, they like to store the eggs, and that's well and good. I just like to keep the chickens, so I get fresh eggs. I don't have to worry about it. And that's one of the things that also is a very good idea to get into the habit of, is eating in season. You know, you won't have a lot of eggs during the wintertime. There's other ways to get your protein. That's when you eat your heavier meats, your pork and your beef. And your lighter meats in the summertime, your chickens and your lamb and stuff like that. So, okay, you guys, it is 7 o'clock on the nose. We went 30 minutes over, but I did get on kind of late today. And so thank you guys so much. Don't forget, keep giving Mama a hard time about her book. Hopefully she'll have that finished here pretty soon.
I'm gonna work on it tonight. It's only 7.
And tomorrow is going to be a kind of a neat thing for sustainable living. We are going to go live tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. for our sustainable living tomorrow, and we're going to be talking solar power with a very special guest. Y'all know who he is. So, mark it down on your calendars, mark it down, set your alarms on your smartphones to come here tomorrow, 7:30 p.m., where we're going to be talking about solar power. Solar power. Tomorrow. I may even put out a sustainable living video anyway, but we're definitely going to be going live 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about solar. So, great. Thanks for everybody for coming in tonight. Appreciate it. And we will see you guys tomorrow at 7:30. Y'all have a great night.
On it.
Y'all have a great night.
Night.